That's the place. I have 4 brothers. I'm not my mother. Several times.
I went down. I didn't have any brothers, so I still did the same thing. No, she didn't give me a lesson. Sure, it's very fun.
Who'd you get?
Somebody did it. Yeah.
Marnie found the, or Miley found the claw. We figured out how to do goes backwards.
Okay.
And it buzzes.
Who is? Oh, Jackie is, okay.
Hey, Michelle, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Studies aged a little bit today. We're in Seattle for a meeting.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
We're gonna make it
I did.
over the past.
My arms are tired. It was fun flight.
Oh, I'm sure.
I had to wear my, I didn't get change my shirt.
Glad you made it.
Yeah, thanks.
That's what I say. The best city in the world.
Yeah, it's like COVID again, huh?
Notice how I took it here. I have a little more room.
All right.
Hey.
So I guess no, for sending that
I've gone down to see you several times and you haven't been there. You enjoyed your time a lot. Yeah. I know. Oh, I wonder why they live in here. I know. I hear you. Yeah, good for him.
Did you hear where he's?
No mayor today?
No mayor today.
No mayor today.
There you go.
Oh, Jason will need to do it too.
Oh, Jason, sorry.
There he is. Hi. Good to see you, Dad.
Hey, thanks.
How you doing?
You know? It's first weekend at work and we survived.
What's that?
He,
Solo dad.
Oh, yeah.
did you find, a nanny?
Yeah, she's great.
And,
She's
I know.
pre-nursing.
A few items.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
You want to?
There,
I
Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
you wanted
Monday. Nate was there Friday, Monday, while I worked.
Oh, okay. Good, how are you?
Good.
So you have examples.
Steve never got the message at 1 hour.
Yeah,
Do you like to work from home?
yeah, Friday. Yes, I do 2 days a week. My wife never works more than 2 days during work week, so you're working. Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
And then, of course, if I hear the kid losing his mind upstairs, I can, so
Yeah.
works out.
Yes, yeah. Oh. You guys send me for Christmas and you guys go into family.
So that's 98.99.
Yeah. you're making-
Cindy, 98.99.
Yes. As it should be.
This was, like, he only did it for like a couple of days. It was like when he was starting to get mad.
So you don't feel
He's
lonely
also
over there?
working.
Yeah. Oh, we saw Santa John. Yeah.
You guys, oh, he's so good at it. He's real.
Solo dad time.
So cute.
He's- And he's the last 2 nights, he's only woken up 3 times. So.
At teacher wins where you get him.
Yeah, we started doing a 7 p.m. bath in bed and wake up by 7. So naps and eating always,
Yeah,
but
that's fair. My kids stopped napping in a year because they'd be up so late. And I was like, can't, I'm 10, 11, you go to sleep. And so they stopped napping.
it's so good.
100%. I do so much work in the evening. I don't get seriously. And it was just like, there was no downtime. And so, yeah, I want to say by about a year and a half, both of them were just like not good sleepers. And they just didn't nap. And I was like, oh. Oh, you
For the what?
for the chocolate, all of our property owners. Kind of a box of chocolates from Candy.
So nice.
We try to be. The what side of things.
I wanna see it. I wanna see it for sure. Every 10 years. Every 10 years. That's why you.
Is Jackie coming?
She's on Zoom.
Oh.
Her kids were having a time, so.
Can I borrow your black pen? Cause just to be consistent.
Yep.
You guys have a black pen over there? No, keep it. Just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Yep.
Meeting of the year, we're changing right to a early year.
Oh.
Is that correct? I didn't put it in my calendar, so I don't remember.
You know what, Mayor Pro Temp will talk about that tonight, I'm sure.
Briefly.
The new time.
Yeah,
We're
it's,
gonna do-
it's the 23rd at 2.
Oh, just kidding.
Yeah, 23rd at 2. So what we'll do is we'll adjourn the meeting. Rather than
Yeah.
close the meeting, we'll just adjourn it till that day. And then they cancel, and then at the next meeting, you'll cancel the regularly held meeting.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, 23rd at what time?
At 2 PM, I gotta actually put that in my calendar.
And I assume.
The signatures, I don't know where this came from. Not all the signatures, obviously.
I'm Thursday that day, so actually whatever.
Okay,
So
yeah,
I only am working the days during break that we have city council. It's not. Well, I mean, I think.
That's all right.
Yeah, still.
I knew this would happen. This is my work on. I knew this would happen eventually.
You had the same.
No,
That's it.
you have to run home and get it.
Right. I don't need it. I just use it.
You hit down.
Okay.
Yes, exactly the same. So,
They always say, yeah.
yeah.
My city of Cheney has a city sticker on the back. It's the only way I know.
Oh, actually, you're just gonna.
So confusing.
You know, I'm a dad now, so I just, lose track of things.
It's already.
Don't get worse.
Like, okay, I feel like I'm losing him. I'm not even the parent getting up with him at night, and we only have one kid, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Or something.
I walk around with my phone and my keys in my hand, looking for my.
I don't have
phone.
to stop.
There is something wrong with me.
Okay.
That's all right.
Okay, on that, I remember. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I mean. After time.
It's all right.
City of Cheney Council meeting will come to order and the pledge of allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag, of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Hey. Roll call. Please and thank you.
Honorable Mayor Pro Tem Overhauser,
Present.
Councilmember Schmidt,
Present.
Councilmember Martell,
Present.
Councilmember Vila,
Present.
Councilmember Nazara,
Present.
Councilmember LeVar. Present. Councilmember.
Present.
Thank you. Okay, minutes. Minutes? Has everyone had an opportunity to read them? We have a motion.
Your Honor, I think approve minutes from. Second.
And we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Vouchers and payroll. Yes,
I skipped over item D.
I'm sorry. I never, I'm so accustomed to that being later in the agenda. I apologize. You are right. This is the time at council where we ask anyone who might have any public comment to speak to council and let us know what you think. There's a 2-minute limit, and I have one person signed up. We'll start with that person first. And I'm not sure I can read your last name, but it's Alicia. Thank you. Can't read so 2 minutes, please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If it pleases the council, Alicia DeLuigi, Lisa Cheney, and Moses Lake. First, I wanted to say thank you so much to Cindy for taking the time out to help me out with some financial stuff. I greatly appreciate her courtesy and getting back to me and walking me through the steps to make sure that I'm doing it right. Also, I would like to further encourage you guys to the SAFER grant. I went ahead and sent notice over to the governor's office today to look at getting some gubernatorial state funding to help fill that gap where the SAFER grant only pays for 75%, and then there's so much that the municipalities have to. And so I would greatly appreciate you guys' support in that quest, because you're not the only municipality that's having those financial struggles. And I believe in leadership, we should all stand together in ensuring that safety, the essential of safety is taken care of. So I ask that you guys, somebody to stand up in leadership and to propose for the agenda for the SAFER grant to be revisited under renewing of a motion under the Roberts rules. That's a laudable for any of you guys to do and to get it passed, please. And thank you. And thank you so much. Nice to see you up there.
Okay, so we only had the one person sign up, but is there anyone else in the room who would like to comment, make any comments? If not, we'll ask the folks who have come to the meeting with Zoom. Is there anyone on our Zoom call who would like to speak? If there are no one, then I think we are done with public comment. Thank you so much. So, vouchers and payroll. Thank you.
Total vouchers of $1,256,583.88. Our interdepartmental billing is $36,807.55 for a total of $1,293,391.43. And payroll for the month of November was $1,190,304.74.
I make a motion to approve the expenditures. Second.
We have a motion and a second to pay our bills. All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Opposed? No. And I also failed to ask, did anyone have any questions, or you're okay?
Just a comment, if we could, I didn't see the email with that. If we could just get that in the future, that'd be great. Thank you. Yeah. All right, thanks.
Small contracts. You can see what the mayor has signed regarding golf camp and karate camp. We have no information items, appointments. So action items, a public hearing on the budget. Todd and Cindy.
I'm so bossy. This is our final public hearing for the budget. As you know, we started this in October. We've heard from all departments, we've addressed revenues, we've looked at expenditures, we've done all the discretionary work. And so this is really the final time for public comment. You will see the full budget ordinance later on in this meeting for approval. So happy to answer any questions. Todd and I are both here and would happy to do that.
Anyone? No? Okay. Anyone in the audience who may have questions about the budget? Anyone on our Zoom call who may have questions about the budget? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We will close the hearing. Resolutions. Cindy. Governmental charges and fees.
All right, our first item is the adoption of the 2026 governmental charges and fees. I did try to place in there and highlight the things that would be changing. Most of that was in the Parks and Recreation Department. In fact, I believe all of that was in the Parks and Recreation Department. On that back page, you can see all the red that happened there. So we typically want to pass these annually so that they're set in place at the beginning of the year. We're happy to answer any questions, or I believe Dan Curley's here in case there's any Parks and Recreation questions you have.
If I may, I did have a discussion with Dan Curley. Give me just a second. I'm not sure if we can put the aquatic facility fees on the board or not. I guess we had a discussion of a few topics. One were a couple of the fees. I guess I want to start off by saying I think Dan Curley and others that have set these fees have done a really good job as a community, providing a very good menu assortment of just different ways to charge youth, seniors, families, etc. One of the things that I noticed, and I'm not sure if it got addressed or not yet, but one of the rooms, if we can I'm sorry, give me a second. My eyes aren't as good as they probably should be, but there was a fee associated with the birthday room, and we discussed that birthday room was sponsored by Providence. Suggested retitling that Providence room and basically opening it up maybe a little bit early, just so folks get set up, but offering that room for obviously things that are not just birthdays, could be graduations, whatever, family meetings, whatever that may be. A couple of the other things we talked about was the budget runs really from January 1 through December 31st. And you really don't know what your O&M is going to be. One of my suggestions would be that these fees basically be structured as and called out specifically as 2026 fees. And we can revisit these presumably in December of 2026. Because again, O&M is a little bit unknown. We haven't operated a full season, and there could be other costs associated in the winter or off months. So I guess that's one item for discussion. If anybody doesn't have an objection, I would like to see that modified. We talked about, again, I'm just kind of paraphrasing some of our conversation, if that's okay, Dan, that we really need to have some policies for the Parks and Rec director to modify things as needed as operations go through for efficiency's sake, whether that's cashier items or what have you. So I don't know if Danny, you did have a chance to kind of look at the current policy book that's associated, and if there was anything that you wanted to bring up for council consideration policy wise that we may need to modify as we're modifying these fees. I know this is structured for really fees, and maybe that's a discussion for a later time, but if there was something policy wise that would help you, feel free at this time to bring that up.
Yeah, I looked through there, and I think, as our discussion yesterday, what some of the things that would be very helpful is to make sure that we have good refund policies in place. And I think the way we have it currently worded is probably sufficient to go into next year, you know, providing any unknowns. We may want to take a look at updating that at any time, but I feel like we're pretty well protected and that's the most probably controversial thing because there's a lot of volatility that could affect like whether or not the pool's open at any given time. So, so really, as far as that goes, you know, one policy that, you know, we'll have to take a look at some point is probably like our cost recovery percentage. What amount are we comfortable, you know, absorbing as a department, as a city? In this year's budget model, we have a 59% cost recovery. And, you know, if it dips below that, do we want to, you know, set something up that would automatically trigger a price increase so that we would be able to make it so that our fees would get us to the right cost recovery model.
And for our discussions, I think to some extent, we did a WAG, a wild ass guess, excuse me for spelling out WAG, but I think your estimate, I guess, could you tell council what your estimate was in terms of O&M for 2026?
Yeah, so we have budgeted $257,000 of revenue, $438,000 in expenses. You know, included in that 257,000 of revenue was $45,000 of donations. And so, you know, that's something that, you know, long-term, do we want to put, you know, $45,000 of philanthropic funds into our operating budget? That may or may not be sustainable. So that's basically the high level of that. $438,000 of expenses, roughly 305,000 of that is staff related, mostly lifeguards. And so that's one of our big things next year is trying to see how we can be as efficient as possible with staffing to control costs.
One of the things, again, about a cost recovery of approximately 60%, I mean, I think that's modeled, supported by other maybe communities that you've looked at, county, Walla Walla. I guess what other communities have you looked at that align with that 60%?
Well, we're part of the Eastern Washington Aquatics Network, so we network with a lot of different places. Actually, even some places, Western Washington will participate. Well, so most municipalities are not really accurately tracking their cost recovery. It's just they're just seem to be fine with supplementing it. But then so the people that are the most in tune with it are Walla Walla and Spokane County. Spokane County, there is 50 to 55%. And every year they ask the commissioners if they're comfortable. This year, Spokane County was at 53%. And Walla Walla said they're just right in that same range, right? They're probably slightly less than that. When we did our feasibility study, the Ballard and King said that if everything hit the projections they had, that we would recover like almost 80%. So like that's like on the incredibly, extremely optimistic side of the equation there.
Thank you. So again, knowing that there could be some contingencies going into 2026, I think it would be good to have this discussion of trying to, you know, what percentage are we comfortable in terms of cost recovery? And again, per our discussions, if it's 55, 60%, somewhere in there, I think is a good target to start off with, at least in 2026. I don't know if folks agree that we should probably revisit this in December next year again to kind of figure out where O&M was, where revenues were, and adjust accordingly. So again, if I were to make a motion to adjust some of the fee schedules, it would be renaming the birthday room to the Providence room. Is that the
Providence Community Room? Yes.
Providence Community Room, excuse me.
Actually, and adding a $50, there's also just this flat fee of $50 per hour for community room rental. That was not in there. That should be included in there.
I would also support that. And then labeling at the very top that the aquatics facility fees are exclusively for 2026 operations.
So the resolution says these will begin in 2026. So do you want a different statement that says specifically identify aquatics? Is that what you're asking for?
And more or less either sunset or be revisited at the end of, we'll say November, December of 2026.
Yeah.
So.
One last thing I'll throw out, we had a brief discussion about resident, non-resident. I think it would behoove us to offer residents some benefit. I think there's a slight discount on for residents, specific swim lessons and some of the fees. We'll have to look at that, how that progresses through the year. But if need be, I think we should maintain something for residents for a benefit, but I don't know if it's gonna, we'll have to see how it works this year, but we may have to adjust it next year. And I'm talking about the individual.
So what I heard
Thank you.
was a motion to accept the fees with the following changes or modifications. Same thing, I guess. Change the name of the birthday room to the Providence Room. Provide some time at the beginning and end of these rentals for people to get in and out. Is that was part of your
For
thing?
setup.
Yeah, for setup and takedown. That there's a $50 an hour rate for the community room.
Providence community.
Is that what the
Yeah.
Providence Room? That's what I'm sorry. That these rates end December of 2026 and will be reevaluated. And that we offer non-residents and residents a different rate for swim lessons.
As presented, I mean, right now, the schedule does have a different counter, but we'll see how that goes. I guess my suggestion is we may need to tailor that back on individual tickets, but I would say that we really want to maintain, at least at a minimum for swim lessons, the resident a little bit savings than the, and maybe look at other options. Again, those are just suggestions. I'll be open to friendly amendments, or please. Yeah, while we're on the fee schedule, I really liked your passes, the way that the passes gave a discount for everyone. I like that. I did have one question about the multi-purpose room kitchen daily rate for the Ren Pearson. I noticed that went up quite a bit from 400 a day to 620 a day. Was that for O&M for that, or that just seemed a little high for me? For residents, I think we would want residents to use that room more often, and that seemed like a lot.
So I think actually that template right there was actually the Parks and Rec Department may not have last year provided an increase that had happened prior to that. So that was the most recently published one, but they're actually not quite as steep, those increases that you're seeing. They were actually like my eyes are really bad. But like, instead of it saying $40 an hour for the senior room, that went to $60. I think last year was actually $50. And I think if you go down the line, the Parks and Rec Department actually had to increase the fees, but it just wasn't in the fee ordinance.
So what's happened in previous years is that there was a line in here that said for the fee schedule of Parks and Recreation, see their published brochure. But in discussing that with Todd and Dan, obviously, that needed to come back to this document instead of just leaving it at the brochure, that the only really body that looked at that was the park board. And so this allows the city council to do that. That's why that probably wasn't in there from previous years, I'm guessing.
Yeah, is there a reason, maybe you could just explain to me why it's 620 a day instead of something a little bit more affordable?
Yeah, to be full disclosure, I really relied heavily on our current Parks and Rec staff with their experience with that process, and I'm not really super familiar with, what type of extra, reasoning there was for that, to be honest with you. So they just, like Leslie, for example, has been there for so long, and based off of her experience, like, I took her recommendation, especially on that one.
Okay. I would recommend lowering it. What? I think 400 a day is fine. I don't know.
Do you have to have a staff person there while that's being rented?
We do typically, yeah,
Okay, so you're paying salary for a staff person.
That and probably a
Cleaning.
custodian.
Well, we currently are custodian less, but yes, we will. Yeah, we will eventually have custodian costs in addition to our staff costs there.
Your Honor, let me ask questions. Is there something that we need to have this for tonight that change?
Outside of when I told him that I needed all of his 2026 charges and fees for this can be amended. I mean, so this doesn't have to necessarily pass tonight. They can take a look at it and take a study and they can come back again in January. Very few of these things are going to happen between now and the 13th of January.
I was just thinking it might be better with Vince's suggestions, some others clean it all up and revised version. That would be easier unless there's something driving. I thought maybe it was Christmas passes or something.
Yeah, the aquatics facility stuff, that was actually our biggest driving thing. We wanted to get that out into the public consumption as soon as possible to start selling passes and get approval on that.
Might I suggest then you approve it and then we could bring it back on the 13th with some adjustments to some of these daily rental fees?
That's great.
So I have a motion, some discussion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor
Aye.
and opposed? Thank you. Utility bill write-offs.
Thank you. So we look at this every year and, you know, utility bill uncollectibles can only be held on our books for so long. So these have reached the end of their time limit. It's a total write-off of $9,034.23. Most of that is utilities. There's a little bit of park and rec fees in there. We kind of just add into this as well, although it's called utility bill fees. That just comes from, I think most of those come from probably, I'm guessing, and you can correct me, Dan, basically from Echo and Caslow, because when parents, they call, they sign up, their kids go, and then if there's an issue with payment or something, what are you going to do? Go ask the kid to leave, you know? So, I mean, that becomes a collectible that we do try to collect. But in this case, and this is one of the bigger park and rec write-offs that I've seen, but it would be nice to get it off their books as well. So I'm asking for approval of resolution F439, please.
And all of these are things that we just have not been able to collect.
Correct.
And they've
They've been
sent.
sitting in collections and yes.
Got a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further conversation? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. General 2025 governmental resources.
So this is the commitment of our general revenue. So GASB 54, Governmental Accounting Standards Board, requires us to take a look at all of the revenues that we receive that we're not going to keep in the general fund, and we're going to push them out to someplace else. Good examples are the residential street money that comes in. We keep that in its own little group of money, so it's very transparent where that tax revenue comes in. Parks and Recreation is another good example. Lodging tax, our real estate excise taxes, all of those things have their own separate places. We could put them all in the general fund, but we push them out into these special revenue funds so that that money remains there and then it just collects over years if it's not all the way spent. So how this works is it depends on the type of revenue it is. The Finance Committee met earlier tonight and looked at things like interest and smaller items, and they can assign those. And so I have a chart for them, and then they go through and look at those and they assign them. You, as the highest governing body, you have to commit the legally restricted revenues. Gas taxes, lodging tax is a good one there. There's things that have to go, criminal justice money. It has to go into a separate fund and it has to be accounted for differently. So you are committing those revenues. This particular sheet that the Finance Committee signed and this whole resolution is audited very closely by our state auditors annually to make sure we're putting funds where they're supposed to go and that I'm not moving them around without permission. So I'm just asking for approval of resolution F440, please.
Anytime Cindy mentions GASB, I will just go, wait, it's governmental accounting at its best. But it's something we've been doing the last 10 years.
This has been about 10 years, yeah.
Yeah. It's just a red. So unless there's anything you want to know more about GASB.
Yep.
Okay.
Love to.
I have a book for you.
Okay, great. I hopefully just have a simple question.
Okay.
because as I read through it, yeah, you have to bring it to us. We have to match it up correctly. Is it also possible for us to decide now that we would like those special funds to go somewhere else? Most of them seem
Depends
like
on what they are.
Yes, yeah, that was my question. So it seems like most of them obviously match up really well, like 90% of them, but like lodging tax is something,
Requires its own.
it does require its
Mhm.
own fund.
It's tourism dollars, they're dedicated, and so they cannot be commixed with anything else. They are
Okay.
only for lodging tax, only for tourism,
And they can only be used
for tourism.
for tourism.
Mhm.
Okay. So there's not really much else on that list, it seems like. That can
There's
be
not a
used.
lot. We don't have a lot of extra governmental revenue that we're choosing to shoot off to different areas for our own special program that we are making up on our own. All of ours are legally restricted.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Sorry.
I was just trying to look for money somehow.
I will point out, here's my story. When I became the finance director in 2006, we were working on GASB 34, and this year we're implementing GASB 101. So that shows you there's been 60 standards since then, which I agree with Paul. It's what's made my hair turn gray. So
So do we have a motion?
Honor. If there are comments, I'd move to approve 440.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
thank you.
Chris Oakes, Tracker Products Evidence Management System.
Greetings, council members. Chief Oakes could not be here tonight. He's teaching a firearms class, so he asked me to present this resolution on behalf of the Cheney Police Department.
Thank you.
And this request is for authorization to purchase the Tracker Evidence Management System. Purpose of the upgrade is that our current evidence system is an AS400 based platform that is no longer supported by software updates, troubleshooting, or any security updates. It's increasingly unstable and it places the department at risk for data loss, software crashes, and chain of custody errors. The operational need at this time is evidence staff and our detectives must manually update the physical paperwork for each piece of evidence, maintain binders, and enter chain of custody steps by hand. This consumes significant staff time and increases the potential for human error. Evidence submissions to the state lab require manual documentation updates that are extremely time intensive. For the summary of this new tracker system, the tracker provides a modern cloud-based evidence management solution with automated chain of custody documentation, government cloud hosting with full backups and data security, a barcode-based inventory system, mobile app for evidence intake in the field, automated reminders for evidence disposition. It has 24/7 support, which we don't have any right now for the current software. The system also includes a full migration of our current AS400 evidence database, which contains thousands of entries. I know you have paperwork for this in front of you, but the total cost for the first year is $11,887.83, which includes the annual cloud license for the government cloud storage, training, full legacy data import, wireless scanner kit, necessary hardware and supplies, sales tax and shipping. The annual renewal for the cloud license annually is $4,240. Why Tracker was selected? There were other systems that were reviewed. Some had a lower initial cost, but their annual subscription fees were significantly higher. Tracker was the most cost-effective long-term solution while also providing the highest level of support and security. So at this time, I request formally that the council approve Resolution 444 authorizing the purchase of the Tracker Evidence Management System as outlined in the provided quote, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone questions? Gentlemen? No?
There are no questions. I'd move for approval of resolution F444.
Second? Did I hear?
Second.
Second, okay, I thought I heard, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I do have a comment.
I'm sorry?
I do have a comment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. I'd just like to thank you, Dave, for your 20 years of service.
Oh, thank you.
As a police officer, thank you so much for serving
Appreciate
our
it.
city well. You've been a great officer and you're a huge asset to our community. So
Thank
thanks for
you.
your
Yeah, I
leadership.
hit my 20-year mark the 1st of November.
Yeah.
And I was a reserve officer for about 9 months prior to that. And my entire career has been here, and that's what I was looking forward to, and not having to jump around like a lot of guys do. And I've enjoyed it. I'm glad I stuck it out and stayed here, and it's been well worth it. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Mr. Marks. Line clearance contract.
Good evening. I'm seeking approval of renewing the line clearance contract with Asplin for 2026. If you recall, in February of 2024, we've signed a one-year contract with 3 options to renew 1-year periods. We renewed first time for 2025. This will be the second renewal, which will leave an option for a renewal for 2027. The contract's $100,000. I gave you a new rate sheet. There was a good question brought to me on the equipment rentals. We only use 3 pieces of equipment. It's usually the boom truck, a pickup, and a chipper. I reviewed 2024's invoices in 2025, and we didn't rent anything else. If we do rent something large like the Slash Buster, which we don't need because we already have our own skid steer, and we bought an attachment to remove that. Big equipment could be brought to a site to be used, and if it's only used 2 or 3 hours, they'll probably charge you the whole day, because they charge you for mobilization to the site, and then if they have to take a crew and return it back. And if it's not cost effective to take the crew off the job to do that. I talked to John Paul, and we said if we ever do anything like that, we'll negotiate what the hours are, maybe couple it with work at Medical Lake or what have you. But we haven't used any of these other pieces, but he provides those for information if we ever want to. We have enough work to do in the lines to remove dead trees, tall trees, clean branches. So it was a good question. I thought I should address that. So having said that, are there any questions?
Your Honor, if there are no questions, I'd make a motion to approve F 445.
Second?
A motion and a second for resolution F 444. 5. Oh, I'm sorry. 445. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Steve.
Okay.
And the next one,
Next.
energy, clean energy implementation plan.
Yes. So the Clean Energy Transformation Act was signed into law in 2019. And it started with 2022. Each utility had to submit a clean energy implementation plan. And so every 4 years that must be done. So this one's due January 1st of 2026. So the 3 key things out of the Clean Energy Transformation Act are, in 2025, no coal generated electricity, to which we will meet that goal since we're 100% supplied by BPA. 91% of the energy we get from them is non-emitting, so it doesn't create any greenhouse gases. The other 9%, I presume, is probably natural gas, because they have to get rid of coal also. So if they purchase that out of state or in state, eventually that will have to be mitigated by the next goal of 2030. 2030 wants you to be at least 80% greenhouse gas free, which we already exceed. We're at 91. And then it gives you options to offset that other, the 9%. If we stay the course at 91, there's renewable energy credits that we can apply. There's low income programs that we can attribute the money to. I'm applying for a grant, a HERE grant, that helps replace heat pumps in houses. And Chihuahua just did that, and they put out $500,000 worth of new heat pumps, 55 of them, which is very successful. They got $1 million grant. So if you have that, that's $1 million credit that would offset those greenhouse gases by 2030. But I assume that we'll be closer to that, and we'll figure out the mitigation. We have a few years on that. And then the end goal is 2045. There's no greenhouse gas emissions at all. Everything's green energy within the state. So that's the 30,000 foot view. And with the report, I sent you an information sheet. There's a lot of data there and information. And once again, the focuses are getting rid of the greenhouse gas and then a focus on low income need. Can we help really reduce the energy burden? And what they call energy burden is no more than 6% of your income should go to your power. Anything above that is considered a burden. I used Brett Lucas, got a hold of him in Iowa, and he ran some numbers for me for the lead and then the American Community Survey. And it puts Cheney residents somewhere between 3.7% to 5% of energy burden, if you will. That's what the average household is contributing. So it's about $110 a month. And if you take the gross revenues and take the residences and divide it back by that, you get $110. So we're below that 6% right now. However, there still is a need. After talking to Elena in finance, the city received about $114,000 this last year in energy assistance, or I should say utility assistance, because it's not broken out specifically electricity, whatever. And then we provide about, if you will, about 5,000 out of Cheney Outreach. So there's about $120,000 that the community needs. So having that in the wings, it behooves us to get a second program other than Cheney Outreach, and it's actually a requirement. We did an agreement at the beginning of the year with Cheney Outreach. We renewed it to meet the SEED standards as a qualifying program. If I get the HERE grant, that's a second program that's qualifying. So you can provide financial incentives or equipment that mitigates their bill, that decreases by 25 to 50%. So the low income thing is a little bit bigger of an issue. I think that what I gave you on data, there's about 1,200 households that's considered low income. And there's an energy need there by just seeing what finance is paying out. But it doesn't show up on the data sheets from the Census Survey and LEAD and the American Community Survey. So we'll still pursue that, see if we can beef up the coffers, provide more assistance to those that are needed. The problem is that the money has to come from the city through the city. SNAP in Spokane Neighborhood Assistance Program, a lot of people get assistance from them, but they control the money. We don't. It's not our program. So the key is it has to come through us, it has to come out of us. We have to control the money. So there's a couple answers to it there and I'm working on it. Does anybody have any questions?
Your Honor, this has been discussed in the Public Works Committee. And I appreciate Steve's work on this. This is a state requirement as a electrical utility. As I understand it, that we have to provide a plan. I think it's every year updated.
Well, every 4 years is the implementation plan, but in this June, there's a marker there to see how we're progressing with the low income. What have we provided this past year?
Yeah. Best I can explain. They want us to plan to transition away from non-green, clean energy so we can be totally green and clean. And there's a lot involved. And it is quite an involvement for Steve and the light department, but it looks like we will have enough here to satisfy Department of Commerce.
Yes.
For a little while longer. Is that correct?
Till at least I'm gone.
But it's not an easy task. I mean, it's a lot of moving parts to try to, because from everything I've understood, it's hard to nail them down, but they want us to do something, but they really can't tell us how to get there.
Yeah.
So Steve has got us to the point where we can, I guess, send this off and get approval for it and then on to the next.
Yeah, the difficulty with this program is they rolled it out and it came out in 2019 when I first arrived, but wasn't aware of it until 2021. And then the first report was 2022. And then last December, we got audited for 22 through 20. See, 19 through 22. And they told me what was wrong this past January. So this is what's wrong now, correct it. And it's like, well, it's kind of like you're flying the plane while you're building it. And so I can only be reactionary to that. So we figured out what was wrong. Even they were saying programs, you have one or two. And they finally came out with the determination, you have to have two per utility. So there's still things, there's rough spots, and I'm trying to meet the requirements. And I think with this submission, I'm sure there'll probably be some hits, some misses on the terminology and the lingo. But what I gave you is that if you saw from, what was it, 2019? Yes, 2019 to 2025. We went from 151,000 megawatt hours of usage down to 137. We have almost a 15,000 megawatt hour decrease, to which they are looking for incentives to decrease power usage. And I can attribute it to, we put out 20,000 LED light bulbs. We mailed out 4 per household. And then the AMI meters, they run on pennies. So those were 2 great cost efficiencies. And yet we still put out, I think it was 210 multifamily homes, multifamily dwelling units, and 109 single family. So we're adding that demand, but we were still saving at the same time. So we're doing cost effective measures, but my focus wasn't on trying to measure those. But we can look in hindsight and say, just like the money that came into finance to support the low income, we're doing it on realizing that we're actually doing it. We're doing a good job on this. So we reduced almost 10% the energy burden that we're demanding, and we're meeting the financial demand of the low income. So, but there's room for improvement, and I have to comply with state regs, which makes it difficult at times. So,
Any questions from here?
Just a comment, I guess. Yeah, we've talked about this a lot. And Steve, I want to thank you. You've done a lot of work with a lot of requirements and trying to sit on a plane that is being built while it is flying. And try to follow rules that are being made up while it is flying. So thanks so much for working really hard for our city. I think in the long run, we probably, to meet the requirement, we may need to come up with another community assistance type group or something that is through the city that requires us to meet the need, which sounds ridiculous because Cheney Outreach does such a fabulous job. We really don't need another one when you already have one that's doing an excellent job, but that's the requirement. So that we may just have to do that down the road. And if there's no other questions or comments, I would like us to approve resolution F446.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on 446. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much.
thank you.
Miss Cindy, would you like to talk with us about interlocal agreements?
Well, I would love to. So this is actually Craig Wall's agenda item. I think he saw the size of our agenda tonight, went running for home. I'm not sure. But this resolution 447, this is just an interlocal with Spokane County. What this means is that the money that would come down to us to run our own CTR program, we actually keep at the county, and they gather everybody's in the region, and then they actually operate the program. Craig, as you know, is our CTR coordinator here at the City of Cheney, does an excellent job. He sits on their executive board. But there's no way that with the $13,000 that we could do this on our own, what the county does. So this just is the interlocal, so they can keep our money, they can run the program, and we're still involved. Happy to answer any questions.
And we've been
Doing this for so long.
25 years or whatever since its initial
Yeah.
startup or whatever. Yeah.
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 So did anyone have any further questions or?
There are no questions. I'd move for approval of resolution F447.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
USTA tennis court upgrade grant application, Mr. Dan Curley.
Yeah, so next year our goal is to implement Hagley Park Phase 2, which would be adding 4 pickleball courts and rehabbing our 4 existing tennis courts at Cedar Street Park. And we would like to apply for a United States Tennis Association grant. It would be up to $32,000 to rehab our 4 courts. And seeking approval to do that.
I think we got a grant to do some tennis courts not long, well, I don't know, not long ago. Yeah, anyway, a while back too. So maybe
Fingers
we'll be
crossed.
successful.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Well, go ahead.
Okay. So the match on this would be like a 50-50 split. Is that what I understand?
I
Or
think the max would be for the portion that we're applying for, it would be a maximum of $8,000 per court. So we would pay it and we would get reimbursed $8,000 per court, so a maximum of $32,000.
okay, and we wouldn't have a match.
So like, I think that we still need to get more estimates, but I think one of the estimates would be to do a complete rehab of the 4 courts would be $100,000 plus tax. And so we would be getting reimbursed roughly 28% of it.
So when we talked about the budget this year, so in our real estate excise tax that can go for infrastructure, we had his tennis court project as part of that. So we'll pay all that out and then we'll get reimbursed for it. And so, but that's where the money will come from. And those are dedicated funds, those real estate excise tax.
Great.
Any further questions?
That's great.
I'd move for approval of resolution F 448.
Second.
We have a motion and a second on 448. If there are no more questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you. Todd, the curb grant application?
In past tense. I do apologize. I've been extremely busy and didn't realize the deadline of the December 2nd. So working with Curb, we were able to get the application. We still have a few documents to move forward with. So what this is a $75,000 grant for basically taking a look at the industrial park for economic development. They will go in, they will do a market study, they will take a look at our zoning and see exactly if there's any restrictions and just do a full report on that process. It is through Curb, and Curb does lay out these grants about every couple months. And the match on the 75 is $18,750 to that end. And I'll be happy to answer any questions on that. As I say, as we move forward, probably coming back next year, because there was 2 programs that could meet the Curb, and one would be the downtown revitalization type and doing the same type of projects.
Any questions?
Thought these are highly competitive, correct?
Correct.
So it's not a for sure.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna get anything if you don't apply.
Right. And we've been the recipient in the past at various times, so they know us. Yeah, so. Any further questions?
Yeah, just quick. So Todd, are we paying 18.5 or are we just getting matched that?
We have to match that. So if we have a contract for 75,000, we 18.5 or 18,750 is towards that 75.
And then we pay the rest.
No, the 18.5 is all we pay. 18.75 is all we pay into the 75.
Thank you.
Just, Your Honor, just briefly in Public Works, I would support it. Make a motion. 449.
Second.
Motion and a second. If there are no more questions, all in favor of resolution F 449?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Cindy, Capital Consulting Agreement.
Capital Consulting is our lobbyist. So she is hard at work. She communicates during the legislative session with the mayor, with the city administrator, sometimes asks for testifying on certain bills, reaches out inform staff of things that are happening in the department. So that's what this is. She's been doing this for us for several years now, $26,100, and it is in the 2026 budget. So asking for approval of resolution F-450.
Questions?
Yeah, just a comment, this resets, so then you can renew annually hereafter. It's five. I think it's been productive. Her work helped us greatly on purple pipe stuff, but more importantly, I think is she will keep us advised of to go over there to prevent any harm. The state, you know, has a lot of bills. This is a short session. Still, if you don't have someone over there watching, don't find out about afterwards. It's unfunded mandate. So I really support, I saw the benefit of having somebody there as our watchdog and advisor.
You could go through $25,000 in travel real fast, trying to keep up.
And it is critical for elected officials to testify when called. Mayor and council members. It's no why and where. So I move for the approval of resolution F-1.
You have a motion
Second.
and a second on resolution F-450. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
Todd, would you like to speak to us about the IBEW?
IBEW, you recall last council, we did informational on IBEW, went over all of the changes in the proposals. And then we have basically a red line contract in front of you. We did have a few more grammatical and formatting errors, and we're still kind of cleaning up the last portion of it as a title, signature change and everything else. But I wanted to just kind of point out there was some discussion on when the actual the longevity pay would start. In there was a line item that said to pay the percentage increase will begin in January, kind of understanding that you may not be to your longevity. And I think it was pointed out that when does it really start? It really does start on the month that we approve those 5, 10, and 15 years, just for clarity. So with that, if that language that is in there right now would resort back to January, but it wasn't, that's something that we typically won't do or don't do. With that, I'd be happy.
Help me again, understand that.
So the question was, if I am going in my 5 years, I'll give you an example. If I'm going my 5 years in June, okay, what that statement says, they want to start that 5-year longevity in January.
Oh, in January.
See, and then we kind of miss out. I think that was the interpretation of it.
You're saying, Todd, that has been tentatively agreed to, but it's still not corrected in the body.
It's tentatively agreed that language, but there was a question there was a question of when do we actually pay that, and we actually pay that on that anniversary date.
I guess my question is then, that's not reflected in this document?
It is. I added in there because it was tentatively agreed upon.
So
that has been added in, whether we want to, I don't know if that was accepted. It is just a clarity on that.
So you're gonna hire everybody in the first quarter? Kidding, no, rhetorical question. Any questions? Concerns?
Maybe one, Todd, just was wondering about, does this take us up to like same wage for linemen and things like that as everybody else around the area?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. As I looked at the wages for them and wages for others that we're going to look at a little bit later, obviously, I think it's really important for us to have linemen. Can you remind me how many that we're paying in the city?
I believe 4.
4. Okay.
And then we have different titles and they just take the lineman, hourly wage and then they do a certain percentage above it. And then for other laborers, sometimes it's below it.
So are our four linemen in that bolded line? Is that why we bolded it?
Correct.
Okay, so our four at that 65-73 wage. Okay.
One thing that we did add, I'm sorry, when I had that, the foreman was added as a position. And then also the serviceman was added in that position. That way you don't see any histories of the 2025. And those are our positions for consideration or moving up into those.
So those are two new positions we're
Yeah,
hiring for
yeah.
next year?
I would say that it would probably be recommended that the servicemen be brought on. It has a different role in the operations. Plus it would be, this person would be available as we possibly transition out of the meter tech and do all those jobs. The general foreman right now is pretty much what our foreman is doing with all of the fiber optics that are running through town, all of the permitting and everything else. He just does not have time to act as a foreman. And so that's why that general foreman was proposed.
And does the foreman lead that crew?
The foreman leads that crew. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
If there's no questions, I make a motion to approve F451.
Second. Got a motion and a second for approval of the IBEW contract. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, ordinances.
My first ordinance is ordinance Y96. It is our 2026 budget ordinance as presented throughout all these past weeks, as you can see. Total budget of $62,436,400. I have isolated in the ordinance what we're coming in with beginning fund, meaning money we're carrying over from this year into 2026, and ending fund, what is going into 2027. I added some additional documents for you. When I sent that out, one showing just a comparison in budget from last year to this year. And then also I tried to show those cash balances. I tried to show what was operating and what was restricted reserves, so that you had an idea of what was in each of these funds, from the general into the utility funds. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Yes, ma'am.
I had a question in regards to some of the other ordinances we're going through tonight. Are those numbers what is in the 2026 budget ordinance?
With the exception of this IBEW contract.
Okay,
Since
but
that
all
is-
the other salaries. and
All the
of
other
that-
salaries have been, yeah, so everything that was already contracted was budgeted in the payroll. We start payroll budgeting in July, so I have all that stuff, and then we try to tweak that as we come through what the healthcare increases might be and the L&I increases. And so it might be off here and there, but it primarily is in there. So all current employees are budgeted correct.
Okay, thank you.
Connor, if there's no other questions, you have a question?
I do have a question. Thanks.
Go ahead.
I just needed some clarification too, Cindy. It looked like to me on the Y96 page where you listed all the totals for all the departments.
Yeah.
And just correct me if I'm wrong, it looks like as you do the cash carryover from 26 into 27, your estimate is that we're gonna have a shortfall of about 4.3 million. Is that correct?
A shortfall in where are you grabbing that number from?
Well, for like general fund, we're gonna go from 4.9 to 3.8.
That's correct.
Parks Capital, we're gonna go from 108,000 to 32.
That's
Parks and Rec, 738,000 to 373, and then add all the other little ones
Yes,
along the way.
that's correct.
So that's a
correct.
lot.
That is a lot. Now,
Lot.
you can't look at that in total.
Okay.
You have to look at that by individual fund. You know, I talk a lot about
Sure.
funds. And so you can't compare the like department with the general fund,
Well, sure.
you know, and so I mean, I'll address Parks and Recreation. We all know Dan. Dan's out here trying to, grab donations and make that fund, more robust. And I think we all agree that he's going to do that. The utility funds are all in pretty good shape. The sewer fund will be in better shape after Purple Pipe's all the way done and we pay off some debt in that fund, but it's getting there. But I mean, water's in good shape, lights in good shape, garbage is in good shape. Um, I think if this is my final budget message to you, which probably it is, I will say that I think that you will have your biggest restrictions are going to continue to come from the general fund because you're
Yeah.
going to have other funds that are going to perhaps request and need general fund assistance over time. We may need to, give money to the street department because how do we know there's not going to be a huge snowstorm in January and they're going to go through that money that quick in plowing and sanding and keeping the streets clean. So those things that, like I talk about, it doesn't just refill at the beginning of the year. Those are tax dollars that we receive. So it's really important that we keep an eye not only on our expenses and keeping in line with our budgets, but on the revenues that we budget. And y'all know I'm a pretty conservative revenue budgeter. But in doing so, if we can get a little cream at the end of the year that helps that cash balance carry over, and if we don't need it, it can be rebudgeted the next year. And I think that's just I think that's for the next couple of years how I've seen this. I think in 2026 is good. 27, I think might be, it's going to be get your pencils out and really, take hard note of things. I think that might be a little bit, unless the economy takes a nice, growing upturn. I think we're kind of in this boat for a bit. But the fact that everybody is budgeted, that's great. We do have contracted labor increases though for all of our labor groups. And so those just automatically get budgeted. And that once that happens, then you have to look at other ways to try to maybe save or be efficient or to move that around a little bit. And I'm confident you guys will be able to do that. It's just a matter of, it's going to take some study.
Yeah, good. I think as I looked at it, it just brought me back to Councilmember Bartel's conversation that I think we need to have more is just about how we're dealing with revenue as a city and how we're learning to be better at getting more revenue because our expenses are going up and it's not keeping up with our revenue.
I did write all those down the last public hearing we had, and I'll put those all on a thing. I'll be sure and give those to our new mayor. And so she's aware of what those ideas were from the council. And so they can kind of start moving forward from there.
Great. Thanks, Cindy. You're doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you.
Thanks for serving our city for a long time.
Nothing further. Would move for the second reading of ordinance Y-96. In summary and title form only, and the second be considered third. And place for final passage this evening. Second.
A motion and a second for the passage of the budget ordinance and title and summary form only in both the second and third reading. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay.
Ordinance 196, an ordinance adopting budget for the City of Cheney, Washington fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026, and providing for the effective date.
Mr. Schmidt?
Aye. Aye.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got you. It's okay.
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you.
May I go on?
Yes.
Ordinance 97. It's our second budget amendment of our 2025 budget. It is for a total of $136,700. As you went through and looked, there's 6 of them on there. Some of those I just moved money that we thought we would carry over into next year down to cover an expense this year. I tried to give a good example or good reason of what those were. I'm happy to address any of those, but I would like all 3 readings, please, of ordinance and final passage of ordinance Y-97. that's your pleasure.
Questions?
This is a great routine that we generally do to kind of get everything rebalanced. It looks like a small effort this year, which is nice. So with that, I'll move for the first reading of ordinance Y-97 and summary and title form only, and for the first to be considered the second, and the second to be considered the third, and place for final passage this evening. Second.
We have a motion for the passage of ordinance Y-97 and title and some reform only for all three readings. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Ordinance Y-97, an ordinance amending the section 2 of ordinance Y-87, amending the budget for the city of Cheney, Washington for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2025, and providing for the effective date hereof.
Councilmember Schmidt.
Aye.
Councilmember Bartels.
Aye.
Councilmember Belloc.
Aye.
Councilmember Nazaro.
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.
Harry, can you talk to us about the compensation ordinance?
So ordinance Y-98 is an update of the 2025 compensation ordinance. It simply updates the salaries for the two Teamsters police support specialists that you agreed to last council meeting. That's the only change in this one. This needs to have all three readings tonight so that we can pay the retroactive pay this year that you guys agreed to.
Or we pass agreement, so we gotta. Which we pay them. This question is another question.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, if there's no other questions, I move for the first reading of ordinance Y-98 in title and summary form only, and the first to be considered the second, and the second to be considered the third, and placed before us for final passage. I figured somebody's gonna have to start doing this since Paul and Teresa, so I've been studying hard. I wanted to get the first one, but Paul, great job.
Second.
So we have a first, we have all three readings of ordinance Y-98 in front of us, in title and summary form only, with a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Ordinance Y-98, an ordinance fixing the salaries and compensation for appointed officers and employees of the city of Cheney, fixing the effective date thereof. Repealing ordinance Y-98, providing for the effective date thereof.
Aye. Aye.
Councilmember Blair.
Aye.
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 Thank you. Now, the ordinance Y-99. Carrie.
So this is the 2026 compensation ordinance. This incorporates all of the COLAs that you guys have already agreed to and all of the contracts. It gives a 5% increase to all of the non-represented employees, including department heads. We did adjust the city administrator salary after looking at comparable cities on the east side to make sure that we're kind of in line with everybody. That did take a bit of a jump because we were quite a bit below, as we are in a lot of our salaries, we're quite a bit below other jurisdictions. So we put that more in line so that we can hopefully, give the new mayor some leeway into hiring someone that will apply. And it also increases the minimum wage to $17.13 an hour.
Sounds like a housekeeping item. Do we have any motions?
Sure. I'd like to make a motion. Your Honor, I move for the first reading of ordinance Y-99 in title and summary form only, and the first to be considered the second, and the second to be considered the third, and placed before us for final passage.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for ordinance Y-99, all three readings in title and summary form only. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And so
ordinance Y 99. Ordinance fixing the salaries and compensation for police officer and employees of the city, fixing the effective date thereof, repealing ordinance Y 98, providing for the effective date.
Councilmember Schmidt.
Aye.
Councilmember
Aye.
Jeffs. Councilmember Nazaro. Oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember Bella.
Right. Aye.
Councilmember Schmidt, Nazaro.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Fewer words I speak, the better. All right. Mayor's report. Well, the mayor's not here, so we're not getting a report. He can report to you next time. Council reports. Wait a minute, staff. See, I have staff reports way at the bottom of it. That's where I get hung up. It's the bottom of the
If you want to do
page.
staff reports at the end, we can do that in front of councils. It's actually in the budget season. I mean, we're through it. Negotiated 3 contracts, still kind of working through the other ones. So a lot of good things happening. It's always a relief to pass the 2026 budget, which is good. For me, I'll make the announcement tonight that I am moving on. After 31 years, I am going to leave the city, and this is my last councilman meeting. So I just wanted to give you something, Paul, as I was kind of cleaning out my,
Oh my gosh.
Did he win a bet?
Well, one bet with Dick Simpson.
Oh.
Well, 2003 we lost. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So much time.
Yes, thank you. I think I'm leaving in a very positive, good. You have excellent employees. They are dedicated to the service, and I'm happy to happy place to leave. I have Mayor-elect Elsa. We had the conversation. We just wanted to keep it under lid for a while, and I'm not about recognition. So please don't. I am just going to not. I just want to.
Yeah, I get you.
Right out of town. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Todd.
Let's start with different. Let's go with Mark tonight.
Oh, wow. Thank you very
I'm
much.
just gonna shake it up right here at the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah. I'm just gonna say thanks, Todd. I know you don't want it, but you've done an excellent job with our city, and it's been great. I've really enjoyed serving with you for 4 years, and you've always answered my ridiculous questions since I didn't know what was going on. And so thanks so much. I really appreciated everything you've done, and we have a good run city because of your leadership. So thanks so much. Lastly, it's Christmas time, and one of my favorite holidays is Christmas, and I love it. And so I'm just gonna extend the hope, the peace, the joy, and love this Christmas to Cheney and all of our citizens.
Yes.
I would just reiterate what Mark said without overdoing it for Todd. So thank you.
I will respect Todd's wishes and not wanting to be recognized.
Yeah. Head down in the minutes. Oh, wait a minute. Jacqueline?
Thanks. I've got the opioid abatement council on Thursday. So next time we have a lengthier meeting, I'll give you guys an update on that. And I just kind of wanted to echo what Mark said, like this is the season for being kind to everybody and loving your neighbors and whatnot. And so I just want to thank everybody in the city, especially those of you that have taken the time to participate in council. Tell us how you feel, tell us what you think, and participate in the budget season. So thank you. And I really appreciate all your time and effort and your contributions. And just thanks to all the city staff for everything you guys did to get us through that budget season. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Couple updates. Planning Commission, they didn't have quorum, so there's nothing to report on that. We'll be at SRTC this Friday. We'll talk about Public Works. I do want to echo everything that's said about Todd. Todd, I really appreciate all the patience offered me and answered all my questions, and I truly wish you the best in retirement. A lot of hours on the lake. Thank you.
Mr. Schmidt.
Yeah, thank you. We did have a consensus. We're gonna forego the December Public Works Committee meeting if we didn't really have that much to go on. So let that one go and two will honor Todd's wishes. We'd be here all night. 31 years, but it's like noted before, Todd knows good and well what he's meant. This need to come from us. Yes. Just, like I said, we'd be here all night. He knows how it is. In addition to that, we were thinking about continuing this meeting to the December 23 at 2 p.m. So we won't have a adjournment, so that way we can address paying the bills and then we can excuse ourselves at that point, so we don't have to meet later that night. If that works.
Are we doing Zoom only?
No, we were gonna, as far as I know, we're gonna meet here at.
Yeah, but you can.
If you
Zoom
wanna
in.
do Zoom, you can Zoom.
Yeah.
I think we just need to ensure that there's at least four of
We
us.
have
So
to have
if
a quorum.
somebody needs to be excused, we can do excused absences as well. So. There's,
Yeah.
I would second that if there's no other.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
So,
instead of adjournment,
motion
we
and
make
second?
a motion to continue this meeting, recess, and continue until December 23 at 2 p.m.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let's go home. Officially. Thank you. Thank you for coming, everyone.
Dog. I don't know.
Is the little one staying warm?
He's staying warm. He's no. He's not being a good sleeper, so I'm working on that, but